This movie is finally coming out. It is finally seeing the light of day after all of the controversy and all of the conversation about it. The movie that was supposed to have firmly put Jonathan Majors on the map as a superstar, as a great actor of our time. It's Magazine Dreams. So we are here for you. We are reviewing this movie. I look forward to talking about it with you, Alonso, because there's been so much discussion about it from people who saw it a long time ago, people who have now seen it since these revelations have come to light. So come subscribe, come hang out. If you're interested in Magazine Dreams, if you have seen it, let us know. We'd love to hear about it from you as well. So, Alonso, what is this film about?
When the entire world will know my name.
Jonathan Majors stars as an amateur bodybuilder. He, works in a grocery store, but spends all of his time at the gym and, feeding, eating protein and doing all the stuff. He's also shooting steroids. He's also doing some things that are maybe, like would be considered shortcuts. And he's got troubles. He has a painful past. He is not very good at socializing with people. He is driven, but at the same time, he is prone to rage. He's kind of Travis Bickle who is ripped,
He's buff Travis Bickle, yes, for sure.
He writes in a diary, and there's a whole thing. So it's this guy sort of, having his dreams of fame in this world and trying to really become a major bodybuilder and just hitting a lot of roadblocks along the way, many of which he's sort of creating. This is a tough watch. This is the kind of movie where I thought the character had hit bottom, and I realized, oh, no, we have more than an hour left to go. Mm-hmm. He's going to go much, much lower than this. As far as physical transformations go, I mean, Majors has put in the work, and he has turned himself into, this just like striated zero body fat, biceps and deltoids, and I don't even know the names for these things.
Well, but anyway, deltoids are important here. This is the thing that obsesses him throughout the film. Yes,
exactly. Yes. So he's definitely like committed to the creation of this character and the performance. It's a tough sit, I mean, it's one of these characters that you feel so bad for him because he's such a mess. Like, he has these therapy sessions with Harriet Sansom Harris, and he's sort of like lying to her and lying to himself. And, it's a very kind of, we've seen this kind of character study before, and we know it's going to be grim and we know it's going to be painful. And then on top of that, you have all of the sort of off-screen Jonathan Majors stuff. Like, this movie premiered at Sundance in 2023. Disney picked it up for Searchlight. It was going to be like, clearly, they were going to do a big Oscar push, and this was going to be like pushing him as a major star while he was also the, going to be the main villain of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then all the, the court cases happened, and the allegations from the girlfriends about, physical abuse and psychological abuse, and Disney walked away from it. Now Briarcliff, which put out The Apprentice, is getting it into theaters. And, if you want to divorce the art from the artist, I mean, his work here is exceptional. I mean, he is inhabiting a character that you don't want to spend any time with, but you're nonetheless like, he's really digging into this guy and what he's about. And if you don't want to divorce the art from the artist, that's certainly understandable. I think we all create our own lines as far as where that goes. And as far as Majors goes, I mean, he was found guilty. He has been part of a residential program. You were just telling me that apparently Rolling Stone now has audio of him admitting to the fact that he was physical with this one girlfriend after having denied it for all this time. So, if he's trying to get better about this and sort of working with, what he's managed to get through in his life. I mean, he's a very talented actor. We know that from, Last Black Man in San Francisco and a lot of other stuff that we've seen him in. And, I think he's young enough that he can be, a different person. And I hope that journey for him goes somewhere, that puts him in a better place. But we do have this as, like a piece of work from him from the before times. And as a piece of work, it is impressive. is this a movie I recommend? Like, you're going to enjoy watching it? No, but
Yeah.
should you see this performance? Yeah.
Yeah, what's so hard about it is that the things that he was found guilty of are what are on display on screen as well, which
Right.
makes it so difficult to divorce the art from the artist, as you say. It's not like, oh, he was found guilty of, domestic abuse, but this is a lighthearted musical.
Right, exactly.
It's about a character comedy.
This is a character who is sort of driven by rage and impulse and lashing out. And so, yeah, it all sort of dovetails in an uncomfortable way.
Yeah, but his performance is incredible because he does dig so deep, and you do feel like every piece of impulse and rage within him, but also the sorrow and the loneliness and the vulnerability and the fact that he wants to be adored, he wants to belong in some way, and you understand why that is, when you learn more about his backstory. And so you are just watching this person destroy himself. As he builds himself up, he is simultaneously destroying himself from the inside. And you really feel for him in terms of the delusional quality of his relationships with other people, and this vast chasm and this widening chasm between what those relationships are really like versus what he perceives them to be. And we can watch it happen, with perspective and in an objective way, but he can't see that. And that's scary. And there is a lot of Travis Bickle to that in the mission that he thinks he needs to be on.
Yeah.
Right. And how delusional that is and how potentially violent that is. There are some moments of exquisite tension here when he goes into a certain kind of building and what's going to happen when he goes in there, what's going to happen to the people who are in there. He has this incredibly awkward date with Haley Bennett, who is the cashier at the grocery store where he works. And you feel her unease as the date goes on and how he's probably feeling really good about it because he's finally opening himself up to somebody. And the more she hears, the more she's like, oh my goodness, get me out of here.
The red flags are all popping up.
Totally. And she registers that in a very understated way because she's got to let us know that she's scared without letting him know.
Yeah.
And that's impressive too. The craft is incredible. Elijah Bynum wrote and directed this. And it's such a far cry from this movie that he did in 2017 called Hot Summer Nights.
I don't know that I saw it.
It's like a coming of age movie with young Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah, we reviewed it on What the Flick. It was not good.
But this is so different. Like that had an evocative kind of nostalgia to it and like a sentimentality to it. And this is just fucking brutal.
Yeah.
So it's such a different kind of movie. And like Adam Arkapaw is a cinematographer who shoots a lot of stuff for like David Michaud and Justin Kurtzel. He's an Australian DP. And so the scenes where Major's character, Killian, like is in the full bloom of himself and feeling himself, whether that's real or imagined. The way that is lighted, the golden kind of majestic hue to it is like wondrous, but then there's like a tension within those images as well.
And they also know how to go with like a kind of an omniscient camera that just sort of forces you to take Killian's perspective, whether he's like driving around in a rage or like going into this competition at a time when he shouldn't. And it's like you don't want to be with him, but you have to be with him. And the movie kind of forces you to like feel all of that.
Yeah, there's a long take that like enters a building and goes down some hallways and some stairs heading into a competition. And like you're there with him every breathless step of the way. And it's incredibly tense. There's a fight scene that we see from entirely inside a car.
Yeah.
Like we're in the car watching it through the side windows and the front windshield. And like that tells us so much. And that is so tense because we feel like we can't do anything about it. Like we're trapped.
Right, exactly.
And so they create a lot of tension there. So there's a ton of craft on display and telling the story and a ton of tension, but it is all of 2 hours long and so hard to watch. And that's because everyone's doing their job really well here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like it is a testament to the skill of the people here that I had such a terrible time watching this movie because you cannot get out of this mind space that the film was putting you in. There is a thing involving his like idol in the bodybuilding world that leads to a trope that I'm like, really? Are we still doing this one? But they do it. And so it's like, all right, fine.
That kind of surprised me. I didn't see that coming. That didn't play out the way I thought it was going to.
No, I mean, neither. Like, but when they get there, it's like, oh, okay. But it's a it's a spoiler, so I won't get into it, but that I was not in love with. But yeah, there's a scene with I wish she had gotten more to do, but Taylour Paige pops up as a sex worker that has an awkward encounter with Major's character. At this point, you know, she is somebody who like, all right, I will come in and do this scene and I will play this character, but like I'm going to be smart about it and I'm going to give this character as much humanity as possible. I think for a long time in movies, though not as much care was placed into this kind of moment. It was all just about how does it affect the guy, you know? And I think she's like, no, this scene's about me too.
Yeah, there's a lot of delicacy to that, which was unexpected. It surprised me over and over again, and yet we are hurtling toward this disastrous conclusion. Like there's no other place this can go. So if you are up for that and you want to watch a really beautifully crafted film and an incredibly intense performance, he delivers that. Magazine Dreams delivers that. I do think it's going to be really hard for a lot of people to watch this, though, based on the subject matter, but also the larger big picture of it all. So again, I recommend it because it's well done. And after all this time to see it, I'm glad I saw it. I'm going to say like an 8. Like it's really good, but really hard to watch.
Yeah, I'm at a 7.3. I think it's a very well-made movie that I never want to watch again.
All right. Let us know if you see it. It comes out on Friday.